Let's jump on to number two, added sugar. Sugar in its natural state, such as in fruits, vegetables, whole foods, comes packaged with fiber, water, and nutrients. There's that fiber again. It slows down your digestion and it keeps your blood sugar stable. But once they extract the sugar, concentrate it, manufacture it, it becomes a powerful disruptor of your metabolism and your weight control. Added sugar is things like table sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all kinds of other syrup. You don't want to be adding sugar to your food. Learn to read labels on food. Turn it over, read the ingredients, but also read the nutritional breakdown. You will see under sugars, you will see a separate line item for added sugars. Most of the time, you want that number to be 0. You do not want added sugars in your food. You talk about, we're going to pick on Costco again for a minute. I was walking through Costco the other day and I was over by the breakfast section and I looked at 3 different breakfast cereals they had. I said, I wonder if these are any good or not. I looked at them. The number 2 ingredient in all 3 of them was high fructose corn syrup. That was the number 2 ingredient. I said, no, thank you. And I put them back.
Yeah, you're not going to find a processed food at Costco. You're really not going to find that. But what you will find, Stanley, is a great price on frozen berries.
Oh, absolutely.
Fresh berries can be expensive, and I get that. I love buying the frozen organic blueberries and the other like frozen mango chunks at Costco and look at the ingredients and make sure there's nothing added in there. Because some of their vegetables in the frozen section, they'll have added oils and other things, but you can get broccoli that's just broccoli. You can in the frozen section, you can get amazing produce.
Unfortunately, not everybody has Costco, but they have other good stores like HEB and Publix and other places. You can get these things everywhere. You just have to know to look for them.
Yeah.
So you learn to read the labels looking for added sugars. And then you have natural sweeteners like honey, agave, maple syrup, coconut sugar. Those are marketed as healthier. And they are a little bit healthier because they're less processed and they may have some minerals in them. But the reality is they're still concentrated sugar. They still spike your blood sugar and insulin. They're still calorie dense and nutrient poor. And they still get overused. I remember many years ago, I used to add maple syrup to my food all the time. It's delicious, but it's just, I was wondering why I wasn't losing weight. Um, it's the kind of thing that you want, if you're eating it, you want to taper off it, less and less and less and less. And then when you're ready, stop. The funny thing is you miss all of these things for a week or 2 or 3, and then your body gets used to it.
Yeah. If you can do the 3 days, like it's really a boost.
Yeah,
It's really a boost. Kind of gets it out of your system so you can kind of get off the addiction.
we have so many people, they take the 3-day no sugar, no flour challenge that's on the website. And in that after the 3 days, they feel so good, they want to keep going.
Yeah.
Um, then you have artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin. They're marketed as 0-calorie sugar alternatives. And they're bad because they confuse your brain. They taste sweet, but they deliver no calories. So your brain and your body get mixed signals. And that leads to increased appetite and cravings. And you're
Yes.
not getting the sugar in your body, but it makes you hungry. It makes you crave food. It disrupts your gut. It alters what's known as your gut microbiome, the bacteria that's in your gut. And that can affect, and that's what helps you digest your food. That can affect your weight regulation and blood sugar. Then you might have an insulin response. Artificial sweeteners can still trigger insulin release even without sugar, pushing the body into fat storage mode, and they reinforce your sweet tooth. The better alternatives are whole fruit, and use spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, ginger. Those all add flavor. When needed, you can use small amounts of whole food sweeteners like dates, raisins, blended fruit. So remember, not all sugars are created equal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anything else to add on that, Deb?
I was just thinking about these little mango pouches that I found because I was looking for travel foods and it's just mango, no added sugar. It says it right there on the label, no added sugar, and it's delicious. And you can just drizzle that on top of greens or on top of veggies or on top of anything that you want a little extra flavor or sweetness. And it's delicious. You mentioned the microbiome disruption. That is like your brain is connected to your gut. So if your gut is eating a lot of refined sugars, a lot of these sugars, it's going to tell your brain, go seek out and find that thing and give me more of it. And it's a loop. And to break that loop, you have to use your logical thinking brain and eat consciously and choose on purpose and deliberately ahead of the time that you're hungry so that you can eat deliberately what you really want to feed your brain and get off the sugar.
That's the key point you just made. Plan ahead of time. I told one person I talked to the other day, carry food in your purse.
Mhm.
She told me she had a bad day last week and she was at McDonald's with her son and she ate some stuff she said she shouldn't have eaten. And I said, that's fine, cut yourself some slack, but plan for it in the future. Carry an
Mhm.
apple in your purse.
Yes.
And the funny thing was she actually said she had an apple in her purse, but she forgot about it.
Mm.
I said, carry that stuff with you, plan ahead so that when
Yeah.
it happens, you're ready. And that's the whole key.
Can I say something on this, Stanley? Because
Yes.
I also have a son, and I want everyone here to live their life. We want you to live your life, right? And Stanley, you mentioned something earlier. You don't have to be perfect here. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be conscious and deliberate. So I know my son and I later, we're going to go out to a gelato place here where I live in Tucson, Arizona. And we're going to have gelato together and I'm going to enjoy that gelato. And that's okay. I know that the rest of my whatever I'm consuming today and the rest of the week is going to be what I want it to be. So I can go out with my son and enjoy a little treat now and then when I decide ahead of time. That's the key, ahead of time.